Hi, it's Gab, back with another review from the Toronto International Film Festival, and today's review is on a film called Never Let Me Go. I saw this film with my mother. It's not Gab and Dad, it's Gab and Mum.
She has a mother.
Here she is, and primarily invited Mum because I knew she had read the book on which it's based, and I've read it too. Not that you have to have read the book to see the film, but it's a wonderful book, and we were anticipating the film, and so what did we think of it? First of all, can you tell us about the movie for people who aren't familiar with the story?
Let me say it's my first time sitting in this chair.
Well, they know that.
Where Dad and Max have sat previously, so I'll try to fill those big shoes. This film is an intriguing story. It's variation on science fiction fantasy, and it relies heavily on your suspension of disbelief. Children are being raised in this beautiful house in the English countryside for the sole purpose of becoming donors. That is, organ donors, parts of their body to be donated in the future. They know that from the beginning, so that they know that their lives are very limited.
And
what
happens?
Oh, I'm not going to say what happens.
They're being raised in a boarding school environment, and they're not being raised in pods like sheep. They're being raised in a manner that suggests, their quality of life is important. They're educated.
They have to stay healthy.
Well, of course, they have to stay physically healthy, but their minds are nurtured as well. They do art and whatnot. It's an otherwise ideal British boarding school where everyone would want to be raised with such an education. Except for the fact that at the end of the day, in their 20s, they start to become donors. And yet they are aware of this, although as children, of course, they don't necessarily really grasp the implication of that concept. And so we follow them into their teen and early adult years, particularly the three central characters, to see how they sort of emotionally and existentially start to come to grips with. They never try to escape or anything like that. It's not like Logan's Run, but they have to, for themselves, for their own identity, and to literally determine the meaning of their lives, they have to sort of come to grips with that. So the three central characters are played by three hot British imports: Carey Mulligan, who we know from An Education and the upcoming Money Never Sleeps, Keira Knightley, and Andrew Garfield, who, as we know, will be the new Spider-Man.
As you know.
As most of my viewers know. So the casting is great, and
so is the setting.
The setting is beautiful.
Some bucolic scenes down by the ocean front.
Beautiful cinematography.
Absolutely. The lighting. The music I thought was a touch overbearing, a little bit too melancholy, although that's an appropriate mood.
The whole tone is melancholy for obvious reasons because of the story. And it's set in England, so England is beautiful but gray.
Beautiful when it's not raining, yes.
Yeah, so there's always, between the score and the setting, there's always that overtone of a bit of foreboding and melancholy and a bittersweet touchingness.
This filmmaker, I thought, did a marvelous job of translating a book to the screen. That doesn't always happen.
And this would be a hard one.
I think this was very successfully done.
The script very well handles the story. It's, as you say, there's a suspension of disbelief, but the world is a believable world that's created. So you do accept the central conceit, which is a bit of a far-fetched conceit, and the characters are so well drawn, and that's a hard thing to do from a book. A book can draw characters much more deeply often than a script can.
And that also reminds me that in the book, the story unfolds over many, many years, whereas the film has to be compressed, time has to be compressed, and therefore some of the nuance is just lost. However, I think they did a marvelous job with that constraint in mind.
Yeah, and that's the script, and that's also the performances. Very believable characters, wonderful performances. The child actors as well as when they become more grown, and so you do really feel invested. You believe what's going on. You're invested in it. What more can you say? I was very impressed and pleased by that, and I really did. I felt it was maybe a bit colder than I thought emotionally, but then by the end I was emotionally involved. I even lost my contact lens, popped up because I was doing a bit of the sniff.
Oh dear.
So, well, no, that's a good thing. I like it when a film moves me. You can't really give it higher.
I thought the whole audience was rapt.
I think so.
You could have heard a pin drop, as they say.
Yeah, I think so. So, I don't know what kind of audience this will necessarily find. It's a bit more highbrow fare, I suppose you
It's
could
not
say.
mainstream.
It's not, and it's going to get a limited release. I might get some award recognition, but it's not going to storm the box office. But I would recommend you seek it out if you like the sort of British melodramatic, touching yet complicated. I mean, there's a lot of existential philosophical issues involved, and the story doesn't hit you over the head with them. But if you like to ponder,
Then read the book.
Definitely read the book. But also, the film lends itself to those kinds of discussions. If you go out for dinner after the movie, and you'll be thinking about it, I think, days to come. And I like a film that does that.
Absolutely.
You would agree with that?
Yes, I would.
So you're pleased with the adaptation?
Very.
And as a movie just on its own, you
I was
enjoyed it?
surprised
You
how
recommend
well
it?
done it was.
Oh, I'm so glad. Good. Well, I feel the same way. So I would give it 4 out of 5 Gabs.
And I will give it 4.5 mums.
Wow. So right out of the gate, we're getting a 4.5 moms out of Mom. Well, that's great. So obviously we recommend it. Never let me go. We have to let you go. Thanks for watching. Thanks for joining me.
Thank you.
No, thank you. Thank you.